Good day, distinguished professors and colleagues. My name is Mosumola Olubukola Ochendi, and today I am honored to present my thesis titled The Role of Executive Functioning in Academic Success and Psychosocial Development in Children. This research was conducted under the supervision of the esteemed committee members, Professor Ademola Adeshina, Professor Vincent O. Aledu, Professor Gigi Dantata, Associate Professor Sati Johanna Kesman, Dr. Andrew O'Neill. I sincerely appreciate their invaluable guidance, their constructive feedback, and academic mentorship throughout the course of this study. I'd like to acknowledge the Board of Regents, Monarch Atlantic University, USA Online Learning, the Executive Vice Chancellor, African Campus, Professor Ademola Adeshina, distinguished academic board members, management and staff, senior lecturers, students, ladies and gentlemen. The background of my study emanated from the previous studies that explained executive functions as skills that impact an individual's ability to flexibly and efficiently solve problems and also to react to their environment. It refers to higher order cognitive processes such as working memory, inhibition, and planning. These skills are essential for children's learning, social adjustment, and long-term success. In many educational systems, however, executive functioning is often overlooked compared to traditional academic skills. The problem of this study states that children with weak EF, I'd like to state before I move further that EF can also be executive functioning in the course of this presentation. I was saying that children with weak EF often struggle academically and socially. Unfortunately, even interventions tend to focus on test scores rather than addressing the underlying cognitive and behavioral regulation skills. Therefore, our research questions guiding this study were: what is the relationship between executive functioning, academic success, psychosocial development in school-aged children? The first one says, how does executive functioning influence academic success and psychosocial development in children? How do deficits in EF contribute to children's academic challenges, ability to regulate emotions, and maintain social relationships? What specific executive function? Is it the cognitive flexibility? Is it the working memory? Is it the inhibitory control? Contribute most significantly to children's academic performance? Are there mediating factors like maybe parental involvement, like school curriculum or activities, influencing EF outcome? And what strategies, intervention can enhance executive functioning in children? Our objectives are outlined as thus: in threefold: measure EF, analyze EF and academic performance, and explore how EF influences psychosocial outcomes. Our literature review explains further to tell us that studies have already shown that EF plays a central role in learning and behavior. For instance, we have some studies from Blair and Raver in 2015, Farah in 2006, Miyake in 2000, and Miyake Friedman in 2012, Blair Raver in 2015, Besmila Naglieri in 2011, Diamond 2013, Zelazzo 2020, amongst many others. However, much of this research is concentrated in Western context. My study, therefore, contributes by providing insight from Nigerian schools. Our theoretical framework draws on the unity and diversity model of EF by Miyake et al. 2000, which proposes EF skills as related but distinct. It means that they develop at different rates. Children's EF skills can be improved through supportive social interactions, scaffolding, and active participation in their environment. The conceptual framework illustrates how executive functioning developments, which in turn affect overall child well-being. That means the cycle starts from EF, moves to academic success and psychosocial development, then moves to child well-being. For methodology, I employed a convergent parallel mixed method design. Quantitative data came from standardized assessment, while qualitative insight came from interviews and observations. These are tests and observations. I like to clarify. In the study, children did standardized tests like puzzles, memory games, and they also did problem-solving tasks that measure EF. Their scores showed whether they had stronger EF or weaker EF. For example, a child with high EF can follow instructions, remember steps, finish tasks on time, and stay focused without getting distracted too easily. While a child with low EF might forget instructions quickly, might find it hard to plan, might get easily distracted, or struggle to control emotions and actions. So the difference was identified by how well these children how well they perform on this task, not just by looking at them. The population and sample included children aged 5 to 11, that's the primary school age children, in primary schools under Surulere local government, in Lagos State, in Nigeria, West Africa, along with teachers and parents, using stratified and purposive sampling to ensure representation. Our instruments, the validated instrument used included the Brief 2 academic scores, the SDQ, which is also known as the Simple Difficult Questions, interviews with teachers after the observation of their children and parents. The data collection occurred in 3 phases. We had the ethical approval and consent, the quantitative assessment, and the interview observations. The data analysis, quantitative, were analyzed, while qualitative data were thematically analyzed. And we came to this result where descriptive statistics show mean working memory score of 558.4, inhibition 53.6, academic performance showed mark of 68.3, reading 72.9. What does this imply? It implied that the children with higher EF scored better. That means children with higher executive functioning skills scored better in math and reading than those children with lower EF. Our ANOVA confirms significant differences in academic performance based on EF levels, supporting EF as predictive of success. Rather than, I am not dismissing the traditional skills also, but this says that EF is a predictive of successes. Now, one of the things the study was able to help us do was to understand and also align with global evidence that shows similar patterns in Nigerian school, suggesting that EF role is universal. It also helps us to have new contribution from the Nigerian school context. Furthermore, the study underscored the necessity of supportive environment for fostering the development of executive functioning. The consistency observed across various cultures in the literature enhances the applicability of these results. The development of executive functioning should be essential within both educational and health sectors, especially in low resource settings where children might be disproportionately impacted by deficits in executive functioning due to socio-economic limitations. Furthermore, the results of my study confirmed a strong statistically significant relationship between executive functioning and academic achievement, in particular working memory, planning and organization skills. They were the strongest predictors of performance in mathematics and reading. This aligned with global findings such as Besmila-Nagleri in 2011, who demonstrated that EF, that is executive functioning, contributes significantly to literacy and numeracy skills. Also, Gadekol et al. In 2008 states that deficit in working memory correlates with difficulties in acquiring new academic knowledge. And Zelazo Blair Willoughby in 2016 emphasized EF as a better predictor of school readiness than IQ, which is intelligence quotient. The contributions we have from these studies validates EF cross-culturally, offers educators a framework and highlights the role of parents and teachers. The limitations and recommendations will go as thus. First, we look at the limitations which did not affect the results of our study. Urban schools were used only, and no severe learning disorder child was used in the study. However, we would like to recommend that these studies be carried out in rural studies, and then we can have EF interventions in schools. We'd like to conclude that executive functioning is a cornerstone of both academic and psychosocial success. By supporting EF, educators can better prepare children for life. So we call it the cornerstone of academic and psychosocial success. And we would like to talk to the teachers. Teachers will need to include EF activities in daily lessons. Use strategies like mindfulness to build self-control and receive training on EF-based teaching. The parents can help by keeping steady routines, that is, having a home schedule that tells the child what to do every day. Give children structured tasks, encourage persistence with praises, and involve in decision making to strengthen planning skills. For our policymakers and psychologists, we'd like you to create national EF guidelines, support early programs that build EF, and fund research to track long-term benefits of EF intervention. I'd like to say a very big thank you for watching and listening attentively, and passionately at that. I look forward to your questions, your comments, and your suggestions. Thank you so much. I'd like to say my name is Mosumola Olubukola Uchendi, and I'd like to say goodbye. Till next time. Thank you.